All right, so you're serious about a career in cybersecurity? Well, you've got to get through the front door first. And that door, make no mistake, is the CompTIA Security Plus. But look, this isn't just about getting another piece of paper to hang on your wall. It's a test of how you think, how you react, and really what you do when everything hits the fan.
I mean, think about it. This thing is basically the global benchmark. It's the certification that tells everyone, hey, I've got the baseline skills to do the job. It doesn't matter if you want to be a pen tester, a security analyst, whatever. This is the ticket that even gets you into the conversation.
And you've got to do it all under some serious pressure. We're talking up to 90 questions in just 90 minutes. That's it. 1 minute per question, maybe less. The clock is ticking from the moment you hit start. It is relentless. So, here's the million-dollar question, right? If this is an entry-level cert, why do so many people fail the first time they take it? What's the deal? Well, let me tell you, it's not that the material is impossible. It's how people are studying for it. They're missing the entire point. And I'm not just making this up. Check this out. Industry trainers are seeing first-time failure rates hitting almost 50%. 50. That's basically a coin flip. And again, it's not because the concepts are rocket science. It's because people treat it like a high school history test. They're just trying to memorize facts. And that is the absolute worst thing you can do. Because here's the secret. The thing you have to understand. The Security Plus exam doesn't really care what you know. It cares about what you would do. It drops you into a situation, a problem, a full-blown crisis, and it asks, okay, what's your first move? It's all about your response.
Okay, so how do we get ready for a test that's all about doing? Well, you start by mapping out the battlefield. You need to understand the terrain. The exam isn't just a jumble of random facts. It's a very specific map of the cybersecurity world. And if you know the map, you know exactly where to focus your energy. And take a look at this map. You can see right away where the biggest fight is. See that huge chunk? Security operations, 28%. That's the heart and soul of this exam. This is all the hands-on, practical stuff. Digging through logs, responding to alerts. This is where you show them you can actually do the work. But here's the thing. You can't just study these topics in isolation. They're not separate islands. It's all one big, interconnected system. I mean, think about it. How are you going to be good at security operations if you don't understand the threats and vulnerabilities you're looking for? They all feed into each other.
Let's make this real. Look at this chart. You see a term like technical control, and it's so easy to just think, okay, vocab word, gotta memorize it. No, that's not a word. That's a drawer in your toolbox. What's inside? A firewall. That's a tool that prevents bad things. System logs. That's a tool that helps you detect bad things. This isn't a vocabulary quiz. It's an inventory of the gear you'll be using on the job. All right, so you've got your map, you've got your toolbox. And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the single biggest challenge on this exam. This is where all that theory smacks right into practice. This is the part where just memorizing stuff becomes completely and utterly useless. I'm talking about performance-based questions, PBQs. These things are basically mini simulations. They don't ask you a question, they drop you into a scenario. 1 minute you're answering multiple choice, the next you're staring at a simulated firewall and you have to configure a rule. You literally have to do the thing, not just talk about it. And that is why the way you study has to be different. You can't just do passive stuff, reading a book, watching a video, that's fine, but it's not going to get you through the PBQs. You need active practice. You need to be in a lab, actually configuring a firewall. Getting your hands dirty isn't a nice to have anymore. It's absolutely essential. Okay, let's take a key process you have to know inside and out, vulnerability management. And again, don't just memorize the steps. Understand the flow. It's a cycle, right? First, you scanned everything to identify the weak spots. Then you look at that list and analyze it. What's the most critical thing to fix right now? Then you respond. You patch it. And you're not done. You have to validate your work by scanning again. The exam loves to drop you right in the middle of this and ask, okay, what comes next? So let's put it all together. Let's connect all these dots and answer the big question we've been building towards. What do you actually do when an incident happens? We're going to walk through the anatomy of a real security event, step by step, exactly like you would if you were sitting in a security operations center right now. And there's an official playbook for this. It's called the NIST Incident Response Lifecycle. Now, don't let the name scare you. This isn't some dusty old government document. This is the living, breathing battle plan that real security pros use every single day.
So let's use it to walk through a scenario. Okay, picture this. It's 3 in the morning, and then, bam, an alert pops up from your SIEM, your security monitoring tool. It's flagged an unusual login from a weird location. This is it. This is detection. It's the first tiny signal that something is very, very wrong. Now, one alert isn't a disaster yet. You have to investigate. So you pivot. You jump over to the firewall logs and you cross-reference the time of that weird login. And there it is, the smoking gun. A huge chunk of data started leaving your network right after that login. It's not a false alarm. The breach is real. Okay, crisis mode. Your immediate priority is to stop the bleeding. This is containment. You don't wait, you immediately disable that user account to kick the attacker out, and you quarantine that infected laptop, pulling it off the network so it can't infect anything else. You build a wall around the problem. All right, the fire is out. Now it's time to clean up the mess and rebuild. That's eradication and recovery. You wipe that infected machine completely clean and restore it from a good, trusted backup. And here's the most important part. You figure out how the attacker got in, and you patch that vulnerability so they can never use that same door again. And even when everything is back up and running, you are not finished. This might be the most important step of all, the post-incident review. The whole team gets together for a lessons learned session. What did we do right? What did we screw up? And how can we make a response plan even better for next time? Because trust me, there's always a next time. So that whole chaotic process we just walked through, that is what the Security Plus is all about. It's preparing you to handle that pressure. Yeah, it's a tough exam for sure, but the payoff for your career, for your wallet, is absolutely worth it. I mean, passing this thing isn't just a confidence booster. It unlocks doors to actual high-demand careers. You could be a security analyst, the digital detective hunting for threats, or an incident responder, the first person they call when things go bad. These are the jobs on the front lines.
And let's just be totally honest for a second. In today's world, the Security Plus is a career catalyst. It's the key that gets your resume past the HR robots. For a ton of government and defense jobs, it's not even optional. It's a hard requirement. But most of all, it's a signal to employers that you're serious about this and you have a solid foundation to build on.
And yeah, let's talk about the money because it matters. The return on this investment is huge. Just look at the jump you can make from a general IT role into an entry-level security job. And from there, the path upwards is clear. So don't think of this as an expense. It's one of the best investments you can make in yourself. Which brings us right back to where we started. The entire point of the Security Plus exam is to see if you're ready for that moment, that first alert. It's not a test of what you can memorize. It's a test of what you can do. So the first alert is in. The real question is, how are you going to respond?